Alright, as you can see here are all the parts of the Providence Gundam Master Grade. Here are all the bluish, grayish parts. Here are all the charcoal parts. And here is the mixture of parts of yellow, red, dark navy blue, and this other color that, as you can see, is more of a grayish, a greenish grayish color, which I decided to use the other paint that we showed before. And at this moment, I just want to show you this before I begin snipping off and sanding down all the excess plastic that you see here. It's going to take some time for me to do this, so make sure it's nice and clean and fresh. Fresh. The one thing that I'm appreciating is looking at something like this, the backpack. This is actually the most unique part of the kit, the backpack holding all the Dragoons in various poses. And I love the detail. Look at the detail on this part. This looks really nice. Especially, you know, the tubing here, going there, and all that, the cylinders here, the parts that makes up the thruster area. This area here where you see the vents and the detailed panel lining. I know that, like, the other kits that many people are telling me, the third parties, will probably, they'll argue, say that looks a lot better, but you know, this is Bandai, and I have to appreciate Bandai's work. And also, it gives me a little bit of an insight on what I plan to do with painting. I did say that I'm going to do a two-tone color of this, using the white and using the light blue, which I did order. I'm waiting for a bottle to come in. Should be here in a day or so. And I was thinking, and here's my the example I'm thinking. So everything will be painted white, but then I will mask off everything to show off these areas, like this section here, that one, maybe this area here, all these. Let's flip it about. Sections here, maybe this. What's another example here? Oh, let's get the armor for the legs. Can we do this? No, I need the other one. There we go. Alright, so seeing this right now firsthand, I can see that I'm going to have to find a way to keep these legs together so I can make sure I do an even spraying of the color. But something like this, as you could see, so like this whole area will be white, and this section here that's been masked off will be the light blue color. That is my intention. But seeing it firsthand, why don't I do it in the reverse? Instead of making the main trim, the main part of the color white, and then the light blue on specific parts, why not make the whole thing light blue and the specific parts white? So what I just showed off here on this, just reverse it. White parts, and then everything else will be the other color. That'll be an idea. Yeah, I think I want to do that. I knew that I was going to do some. I want to look. I'm looking at the possibility of doing two-tone with this one. So even though I have that other color that I showed, I'm gonna dig into the pile and see what other colors that I could use. Maybe do a different version of red, or maybe a different version of gray or silver. Who knows? Who knows? It's getting hot in here, as you can see. I have the AC on. It's at full blast. It's getting cold. It's getting warm outside, you could say. And well, there it is. So let me begin cleaning these up, and then we'll review the parts as we go along. Alright, so I wanted to talk about these inner frame parts that I was working on right now. Just cleaning it up, removing some excess plastic, and then beginning assembly so I can see how it looks overall. But I'm a bit curious because I've never seen anything like this. the body part was understandable. I was able to assemble that. And the head, I knew that it's always a part. The head is not completely an inner frame. There is some parts for that, but it's being held on by the outer armor. So I can understand. It's when I got to the arm section from here, I was able to assemble this part here, which is this, but there's no extra armor or whatever that sticks up or down to form the inner frame of the arms. So it's like yeah, there's no inner frame. I don't get it. I do see. Wait a minute. Take this, and oh no, that's right. You don't have to worry about that. Oh no, I do have to worry about it because it fell on the floor. So we have this and this. That supposedly connects through there through a notch, but the rest are being held on by the armor, and there's another part that goes here that is held up by armor as well, so you can connect it to the shoulder. I don't know. I've never seen anything like this. It's not a complete arm assembly of whatever I'm looking at here. And I'm a bit baffled how, you know, the approach that Bandai has went with this kit. But as I'm looking at it, as I'm looking at it, I can understand that this is not a big kit. The C kits are not the same bulk size that you normally see on the RX-72 kits. Alright, none of the original UC kits going from Zeta, Double Zeta, Charge Counterattack. You know, those are kits that are huge and they have a lot of bulk to it. The Seed and Seed Destiny are a little bit smaller in one aspect on them. This kit is big, yes, don't get me wrong, but it's not Sananju big. It's not Zazabi big. It's just a little bigger for its own size. So I was curious as to what, did I miss something here or is something wrong? But reviewing it, I realized that, oh wait a minute, this doesn't look right. The one thing that threw me off, and actually I've got to go back to the manual here, is this section. I was prepared to get ready to build the shoulder pad, and it turned out that that's not an inner frame part. That's actually part of the armor. So no inner frame for the shoulder pads. Huh. I mean, like here, you see, I did assemble parts that is required. So you have the beam rifle that goes into the other inner frame body of the beam rifle, that bigger one. These parts here represents the parts for the Dragoons. All these are Dragoon parts because inside, you know, this was one other thing that I noticed, that there's no inner frame for the Dragoon, which technically speaking I kind of like that idea, because imagine the weight on the Dragoons if it had an inner frame. It would be back heavy. So now I kind of accepted that in a way. It'd be nice if it was more detailed, but it is what it is. Some would argue I should look at the knockoff versions. That's alright, I'm not going to look at that right now. So we have that. Here's parts for the feet. Some parts that actually goes on the armor from the outside. Parts over here that represents the waist unit and whatnot. And parts of the, again, the hand and the arms is ridiculously over there. The one thing I was able to assemble that it shows something is obviously the torso. But now I'm looking at this, I have to now look into the possibility of removing the red parts, because I got to paint them. It's not too bad to remove them, just annoying as hell to do it. I really find it annoying. But it is what it is. You can't complain about that. I did assemble the waist unit, as you could see here, and let's put this on together. Okay, nice snap fit, as you can see. And I did assemble the legs, which is, to tell you the truth, very nice. I kind of like the legs. Going to the waist unit back, I was deeply impressed with the design of these. This is actually very, very unique, cool to see this. Again, this is all, I'm assuming this is what the inner frame of the 2.0 Freedom is, because I never built it. So I'm kind of liking it, kind of disliking it, so to say, so to speak. But so let me put these two together so you guys can see this here. So we put that there. And put this there. Careful in whatever angle you're doing this, and there we go. There we go. Alright. Do like the overall look. It looks pretty nice. I do love the amount of detail that you see here. Especially, I love the vent thrusters here. It's pretty nice. Detail here as well. And you could tell that Bandai went a little, a little more on hiding. You could show off the details, but hiding areas that you have the nub marks and the parts that you cut off. So it's cool to see something like that. The legs is strong, good resistance there. Just kind of not digging the rest. I wish I could assemble the arms, but then I would have to take the parts from the arms there and to assemble it. And I always did like to do the skeletal frame showing of the inner frame. No, can't complain. It is a nice kit. Interesting where Bandai was going through this, and now I realize if I ever decide to get myself the Justice Gundam, I'm gonna have to go through this same process again, unless of course it's not that. But I don't know. I don't know. Somebody will probably tell me, yeah, you do. But we'll see where we go from there. Oh, there is one thing though. These two parts were separate, and I don't know, because it has bulkier legs than I believe the Freedom. The Freedom's legs is a little bit thinner, so these two are probably an add-on. But I don't know yet until if I ever decide to get myself the Freedom 2.0 version. It'll be interesting to see how it is. All right, so that's pretty much all the charcoal parts. I'm going to disassemble this so I can remove the two red parts, cleaning up the remaining parts there and cleaning up everything else here. And then I got to get a cardboard, because these parts, these little loose parts, some of them will be painted, but in specific areas that it's shown through. Because these parts, like this one, these are the thrusters that are on the side of the Dragoons. Here are the actual barrels in the front of the Dragoon. So basically I'm spray painting this part. The rest I don't have to worry about. This is the same thing. Well, the whole thing I can actually spray paint, but it's very, only a few parts of the area that you have to worry about. It's interesting to see how this is. Alright, that's pretty much it. Let me continue on cleaning up this kit.